Hello and welcome to Squidly Bits, our second channel where we do quicker videos, but most importantly, we do the best tutorials on the internet. And today I'll be showing you guys how I painted the fabulous box art of the Kiranti miniature. In this video there will be skin, there will be NMM, and there will be rocks. There will be everything. So stay tuned, let's go. And of course, all the paints used in this video can all be found in the Dark Future and our essential paint set. So now let's just start by painting the entire armor of the miniature. And to do this, let's bring out dark sea blue, ice yellow and light flesh. Now let's just begin by covering the entire armor and the rocks with dark sea blue. Once the armor is fully covered with dark sea blue, we can start by mixing some ice yellow to create our first highlight. Make sure to follow the shape of the miniature when adding these highlights, and also try to leave some clear separation between all the metallic parts. Remember to add some secondary reflections in the metallics to make it read as metal rather than just a slightly shiny rock or something else that's shiny. Then once we're finished with this highlight, to bring everything up a notch, add some light flesh to the mix and add it on a slightly smaller surface. And remember, the further up on the mini we go, the more deliberate we can be and add slightly bigger highlights, and the further down we go, meaning away from the light source, which is the bright shining sun, the smaller the highlight. And to add contrast, we just mix in more and more of this light flesh until we reach full light flesh in some areas. To make the armor a bit more interesting, we'll add a magenta sheen from her right side. To achieve this, we can just add a reflection angled towards that side using the magenta color. Just remember not to overdo this, as we still want the armor to read as a bluish steel armor and not a magenta armor. Next up, I'll tackle all of the gold details. And to make this gold fit even better with this armor, I'll show you guys a little trick. By mixing Parasite Brown and Violet Red, we'll create a base tone that will marry really well with the bluish tones in the armor, rather than using the dark rust that we usually do. Then once we have the base coat done, just like with any other gold NMM I paint, we just jump into straight Parasite Brown and start mapping out all of the highlights. Considering the gold details are a bit smaller, do make sure to leave some room for that magenta reflection that we did on the armor. Then to increase the brightness and contrast in the gold, we just start by adding some ice yellow to the parasite brown and mix in more and more the further up we go and the brighter we want it. Just remembering to add this on a slightly smaller surface for each pass. Then to finalize the gold, we add the same magenta reflection as we did on the steel, just making sure to be really precise here, considering the gold details are quite small. Moving on to maybe the most important part of any miniature and my favorite part to paint, the face. For base coat I'll mix skin tone, burnt red and sunny skin tone to get the perfect base coat. And I'll gradually add more and more skin tone to the mix to go up in brightness. And here, if you want to, you can even add a bit of light flesh to really punch that contrast. And once we reach a nice and cool skin tone, it's time to bring out the burnt red once again. Thinning down the burnt red to a nice glaze consistency, we can apply this to all the crease patterns in her face and also glaze it down on the cheekbone to create this rosy, slightly blushing effect. Another large area that we still have to paint on this mini is the furry bit over her shoulder. I'll cover this entire surface with dark flesh tone and then add the furry highlights by adding some sunny skin tone to the dark flesh tone. Making sure to paint these highlights as small lines and strokes that can read as the fur of the pelt. And when it comes to painting her beautiful power spear thingy-wingy, let's bring out the dark sea blue, turquoise, blue-green and ice yellow. Starting off by covering the entire blade with dark sea blue, then adding a highlight of turquoise, and in this step you can be quite generous and add it to a big surface. Then moving in on a slightly smaller surface, we add the green blue, and to finalize, we mix about 50-50 ice yellow to green blue and boom! Add it on an even smaller surface and my, it looks amazing. And now we only have the white cloak left to paint and then we can almost finish off the mini. I'll start by mapping out the highlights using deck tan. And as long as the cloak is a nice even color, what you can do is just glaze over with the deck tan until you reach a smooth transition. And this is a really nice trick to keep in mind. When you're painting white, you don't necessarily have to paint it white. Sometimes deck tan will just suffice because it will read as white in contrast to all of the other parts of the miniature. Now moving on to the base, just make sure to cover up any spilled areas with dark sea blue. Then to build up the highlights, I like to add sunny skin tone to this dark sea blue rather than ice yellow. This will make sure that the armor and rocks look similar but not the same. Then I apply these highlights by making a lot of textures and imperfections. Then I add more and more sunny skin tone to the dark sea blue until I reach about a 30% dark sea blue and 70% sunny skin tone mix. And then I'll move in with the magenta one last time to add this glow on the base as well, making sure to paint the rocks with the same textures as the previous highlight. Now the miniature just needs some black paint around the rim, and bada bing bada boom, you should have a miniature that looks something like this. Thanks for watching this video, everyone. If you want to watch these videos a week in advance, make sure to head over to our Patreon. And not only will you get to watch these videos, you will also get to hang out with maybe the best community on this entire globe, who also make sure that we can do all of this for a living. With that said, have a nice day. Bye bye!